Hello, dear students. How are you all? You must be hale and hearty. Today, I've come up with the second part of Introduction to Drama. We all are very fond of watching dramas, and there are so many theaters all around the world where we can see dramas. Broadly speaking, drama can be divided into four types: comedy, tragedy, tragicomedy, and melodrama. Comedy can also be of various types. The first type that we are going to talk about is black or dark comedies. In these types of comedies, the topics that are chosen create fear among people, like topics related with death, illness, racism, crime, etc. It can offend some viewers, but can be entertaining for others. It appeared in late 1950s and early 1960s in American literature. An apt example is Entertaining Mr. Sloan by Joe Orton. The next type is comedy of humors. It is based on medieval era belief that people are ruled by various humors that control their personalities and interactions. A comedy of humors has a character-based story. In this type of comedy, the characters have one or two dominant traits such as jealousy, greed, or vanity that rule their interaction with others. A very famous play of this type is Ben Jonson's The Alchemist. Coming to the third type, we have comedy of manners. It makes fun at the behavior and lives of certain classes of people, especially upper class. For example, plays of Oscar Wilde. Coming to the next type, it is romantic comedy. The name romantic comedy brings to our mind the plays of Shakespeare. These types of comedies center around theme of love and usually have a happy ending. Of course, Shakespeare's plays are there in this genre. But another good example is Oscar Wilde's play, The Importance of Being Earnest. Next type is the sentimental comedy. This was a popular genre in the 17th and 18th centuries that explored the trial of characters stationed at middle class and their efforts and methods of overcoming these hurdles which they experienced in their lives. Oliver Goldsmith's play She Stoops to Conquer fits in this category. The next important type of play is tragedy. The term tragedy brings to our mind Greek tragedy, because that is the earliest form of tragedy that came up. In Greek tragedy, a protagonist is the one who makes an error of judgment and accepts his fall from grace. Of course, fate also plays a major role in this type of tragedy. Oedipus Rex by Sophocles is a fine example of Greek tragedy. Coming after the Greek tragedy is the Roman tragedy. These tragedies were mostly based on the theme of revenge. Seneca, the famous Roman playwright, wrote 9 such tragedies. Next is the Elizabethan tragedy. The name Elizabethan brings to our mind Shakespeare. We know that in Shakespearean tragedies, or the tragedies written in Elizabethan age, the protagonist is of high stature, who is flawed, encounters a reversal of fortune, and usually dies at the end of the play. Next is the revenge tragedy. The name itself suggests that they have sprung from the Roman tragedy, because revenge tragedies are also based on the theme of revenge. In these works, the character seeks revenge upon another character for an evil doing. An example of this type is Shakespeare's Hamlet, and another example is John Webster's The Duchess of Malfi. Now let's come to the last type, that is domestic tragedy. In these types of tragedies, the tragic hero is a common man in a domestic setting, as opposed to noble stature of tragic hero in Greek or Shakespearean plays. The examples are Eugene O'Neill's The Iceman Comet. And of course, there are many such domestic tragedies which were written in 19th century. Now let's come to the next major category of drama, that is tragicomedy. The name itself suggests that tragicomedy is a blend of or mixture of tragic and comic elements. It was first used by Roman playwright Plautus in the play Amphitryon. The main features of tragicomedy are mix of tragedy and comedy, And in these plays, sarcasm plays a major role. Sarcasm, as we understand, are biting remarks. The ending is blunt. The characters are realistic, and the themes chosen in these types of plays have a universal appeal. Next is mellow drama. This approach started in 18th and 19th century French romantic drama and the sentimental novels that were popular in both England and France. It was first used by Jean-Jacques Rousseau in Pygmalion. The main features of these types of plays are that they are focused on moral codes connected with family life, love, and marriage. The characters in these types of plays are generally stereotypical, or we can say they are type characters. The conflicts shown in these plays are exaggerated. The plots are sensationalized, and these plays are highly emotional. The main thrust of these plays is the fight of good against evil. So, dear students, these were the four basic or main categories of dramas. Dramas play an important role in our lives. The performers, they gain self-confidence, their communication skills are enhanced, and there is the increase in spirit of cooperation among them. We cannot forget that there is also the increase in the power of concentration and imagination. The audience also enjoy seeing plays. We all know that all of us are enacting our roles in this world drama. Whether we succeed or whether we fail in different phases of our lives is not important. What is important is how beautifully we have enacted our roles. Thank you.